My name is Stephanie Rollins. I am a graduate student at LeTourneau University. This is a counseling video for practice purposes only. So this is my volunteer. HK, thank you for volunteering.
Very much.
I appreciate it. So I just want to ask you, what brought you to counseling today?
Well, I've been in recovery for a while, and my daughter recently moved back in after being incarcerated for a long time, and I have her 3 children, and it's caused me a lot of stress, and I feel tempted to fall off. So I know better than to just
Fall off
the wagon
for drinking?
for using.
Okay.
And I know better than to sit alone with myself and to reach out. Because isolation is a big trigger for me.
So you have identified some of your triggers.
Yes, I've been in recovery for a while.
Well, HK, I know you filled out some assessments and some paperwork ahead of time, and I appreciate that. I was able to look it over, and I saw that there is a family history of mental illness, family history. Is there a family history of substance use?
I have other family members that have used drugs, and some that are alcoholics, but mainly escapism for like my biological mom, and who is, sick with dementia now. But there have been a lot of drug users in my family. I was raised with the hippies, so there's a lot of drug use when I was a kid around us.
It was
And
a big cultural thing.
yeah, yeah. So that didn't help anything.
So
That's what I was comfortable with growing up,
comfortable with.
people that were smoking pot and on acid and doing cocaine around us.
So
It's just what I knew.
you stated you were in recovery.
Mhm.
What is the most challenging part of this process for you?
I didn't have any challenging thing going on, really. I just, once in a while, I do stay plugged into meetings and recovery,
Oh, good,
NA
good.
meetings, Celebrate Recovery, which is a
Yes.
Christian-based program.
Yes, it is.
But it's it's just like waiting behind you, addiction is, to sneak up on you, even after years of clean, and just pounce on you. And when I feel that way, I usually reach out and go to a meeting or talk to somebody, because I know how easy it is to lose years of being
Yes.
clean.
But that's great. So
Yeah.
you know these triggers. You've identified them because if you're in recovery, I gather you have been working on. Were you 12-step?
Yes, more than once.
Okay.
So it's very easy to forget everything though under stress, and just fear, and somebody who's out of control around you is a bad trigger.
What do you
But
do?
I just know that everything, after years of being exposed to this, how easy it is to lose any clean time and recovery time, to get out there and ask for help, lift up the phone, talk to somebody before that happens. So I don't
You
want
sound
to be
like-
out there again.
You sound like that is a process that you engaging. You do reach out.
Mhm.
You're aware of your triggers.
When I feel like this, yes.
And so during stressful times is when you will reach out.
Normally,
So,
yes.
Or go to a meeting.
Mhm.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is.
Thank you.
So
Life is stressful.
It
you know,
is.
And then the 3 grandkids that have been placed with me,
Now,
they're
how-
emotional up and down, and it's just their mom's in and out, and it's
how
hard
did
to
you, How did
watch.
you come by your
They were
grandchildren?
placed with me because CPS took them from their dad who had custody of them. My daughter is their mom, and she had already left the relationship, but CPS took them away from her boyfriend at the time and placed him with me because he wasn't clean, and he had an apartment, but there was no running water for 3 months. The kids were being neglected. They were both using drugs in front of the kids. And so I've had him 3.5 years, going on 4th year now.
How are
and
you
the-
doing?
my
How are
daughter-
you coping?
It's
with that?
gotten easier. It's gotten easier. We're on a routine. But when my daughter came out, I was trying to reintegrate them, and that didn't go well for 2 months, and then I put her out of my house because of her inability to get herself together, and she relapsed immediately after that, after I put her out. And it's a big trigger for me because I don't really want to raise any more kids or want to have my own life, and then why does she get to be free? But I love them, so I'm reaching out for help when I feel myself
But is she
feeling squirrely.
Do you think she's free?
No, she's living in hell right now because she's totally addicted to drugs. It's so sad.
Does she have any resources to lean on?
She doesn't want any. She's not ready at all. She hasn't hit her bottom, and she's very defiant against any help, even on parole. So she's going back to jail, and it will be a blessing.
But during this kind of stressor, and stressor's not a strong enough word, is this during this time when you'll reach out? Or
Yes.
feel like taking a drink?
I do feel like that, but I look at my grandkids' faces and I just have no way that I could let them down because
Great.
I'm the only person they have.
Those are
Hold them together.
like your
They're-
anchors.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I won't do it, but I feel like doing it. I do. I feel like doing it because that's what I know to do is to run and F everything up when it gets things out of my control, but I won't do it because
You
of
have
them.
been doing so well.
Thank you.
You maintain your home, your household, the kids, a great job that provides for your family.
Yes.
And you can identify those stressors, you can
Mhm.
identify those triggers, and you act on that based on things you've learned going through recovery.
Right.
And the previous counseling
Yes.
that you've had.
And I know it'd be too much to lose if I let that step back in and just think and kid myself that one time I could handle it. I can't. I have an addict personality. I cannot do one time. Once is never enough, and a thousand's never enough. Once is too many. I can't. There's no middle ground for me. It's all or nothing, and I can't gamble with them. And so I thank God that they're here. I thank God they're here. Even though
Do you find
stressed
faith as
out.
a resource?
Yes.
To you?
Yes, I stay plugged in to God and talk to Him all the time. I try to go to church as much as I can with them, but
What's important is that relationship.
yeah, My
Regardless
higher
of what
power
roof you're
is
under,
amazing.
you maintain that relationship with God,
Yes.
with your faith.
I really do. talk to him pretty much every day. So I'm thankful, because it does keep me humble, you know, to be tempted to do something. But the temptation cannot bear any kind of root inside of my mind or my spirit, because their pull is way too strong. And losing everything is not worth it to me, especially not for them. I can't. I'm not going
You've
to.
worked so hard, and
Yeah,
you're doing
it's
so
taken
well.
me years. It really has. It's taken me years to get away from that lifestyle and running away from myself. It's taken years and years and years, and I have a little over 5 years clean and sober, and it's taken me 30 years to get it. I'm not going to lose it. But it is tempting. My first thought is I would like to have a few drinks, but I know once I have a few drinks, I'm going to want to use something. So I just abstain from everything. But the temptation is the first thing in my head when something goes wrong. It's always going to be, it's just a disease. And it's a terrible disease, but I do know now that I don't have to act impulsively because it's going to pass. Sooner or later, that temptation's going to pass.
You take this one.
So you no longer. We're almost done, kiddo. So that thought still comes in your mind.
Once in a while, especially around my daughter.
So your triggers still bring.
Somebody
That's
that
right.
is using is never a good place for someone in recovery to be around.
Absolutely. But the other thing I wanted to go back to was the disease part.
Mhm.
So that's you. That's how you've based your recovery, that this is a disease.
Yes.
And abstinence is the component.
It really is. I really feel like it's something that definitely can be recovered from, but they teach you that in recovery, that it is a disease. You'll probably have it the rest of your life, especially if you've had a lifetime of using. And they have taught me, though, you have to change people, places, and things, and stay away from the old habits, and one thing you have to change is everything. And I've really done just exactly what I was told to do, because I saw that it worked for other people with years of clean time. But it took me a long time to accept that, because I just thought they were full of crap at first, and I had to fall many, many times throughout the years, But life is
So-
good. Even on the worst day, it's still the best day of my life, because I'm not on drugs or drunk or out of control. Even when everything goes wrong, I'm still thankful to God that He brought me through something.
Right.
So I can't.
That's nice to see that that's also where your focus
Yeah.
is. So the anxiety that I noticed that came across in the assessments,
Mhm.
is that anxiety more so now in your 50s?
The kids
raising
really.
kids again.
Yeah.
And
Yes. Yes, it is, because your tolerance changes.
Yes.
But I know just talking about it with somebody really releases a lot of anxiety also. So I can talk about it and leave it wherever I talked about it, and then keep going. I don't have to take all of the anxiety with me. But
That's right.
I might have to keep talking about it to someone else after you, because that's how
That's
it
okay.
is.
What did Shrek say? Better out than in.
And I might keep talking tomorrow about it too. But I mean, it does
That's okay.
help. It helps. Like before, I used to hold everything in and not want to share everything. And I know, like, the telephone would be so heavy to pick up and call somebody for help. I don't have that problem now. I'm not special. My problem's not unique. The whole world is full of people that have drug and alcohol addiction, you know, that understand what I'm going through. They've walked in the same shoes, so I don't have a problem now reaching out for help like I used to. But sometimes it is harder, because sometimes I just want to be left alone to stew where I am in misery and tell the world off, you know. You don't understand what I'm going through. How could you? But it's all a lie. It's all a lie, and I know
Thank
if
you.
God puts that in my head, just, I'm sending you help. Just reach out. You know, and I really believe that. I really do believe that in my heart, my soul. I know He is real and He cares about every one of us. He's
Yes,
no
ma'am.
respecter of persons.
Yes.
So I'm thankful every day that I'm one of those that made it back from a hardcore, very long 30-year addiction. I'm here to tell you anyone can get
That
well.
is amazing.
It really is.
So do you get opportunities to speak or?
They ask me
Tell
to
your
at the
testimony.
meeting, you know, and I have gone to different meetings and even gone to the juvenile jail over off Rancière with some other
Yes.
members that have substantial amounts of clean time to talk to kids what not to do. And it's been a little more challenging with my grandkids here because I don't want to take them into the recovery rooms because they don't need to hear all that. Those people
Sure,
don't filter.
That's right. That's right.
So I haven't gone as much as I'd like to, but I do stay plugged in every month. I try to go to a meeting because it keeps me humble where
Yes.
I have come from, and not to be too proud, because anyone is just one moment away from relapse the minute you pick up or do something. I'm not willing to do that, but it's a good reminder why to stay clean and to walk out of there empowered with some more tools to get through another day of, you know, anxiety and temptation, people around you that are using, because they're everywhere.
Do you feel your anxiety is under control, manageable?
Most of the time.
And
I mean, I'll go off sometimes at work, but they expect that at my job.
Um,
Because that's other
I think-
people too.
Yes,
you know.
yes, it is.
So, but normally, no. I mean, I'm pretty well grounded now, and I just save it for my family when I'm having a bad day. Let them deal with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're close with your siblings?
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes,
good
I
too.
am.
That's good support too.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Thank you for letting me borrow your grandma. Thank you very
That's
much.
my youngest one right there. The ADHD, and he's a direct result of being born into addiction, and what we have to go
I
through.
don't know if they're allowed.
Yeah. Mesa.
Yeah.
But what we have to go through to put a family back together, it's hard sometimes, you know.
You're
So,
doing a good job.
Thank you.
You
I
are.
mean, I'm not looking for any, you know, but I can tell
No.
you that addiction has manifested in every generation of my family, and trying to be the chain breaker is what I remind myself on the bad times that I'm standing in the gap for, because I'm willing to be the one that stands up and says, you are not taking one more family member away from me, you know.
Praise God.
And
That's
I
right.
really, every time I say
That's-
that, or I get discouraged, I feel.
appreciate your
you know,
mindset.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate, because
Mm-mm.
I know you've had to work on this. And
Yeah, it's taken years before I felt like that. But, you
then
know,
it will be, I think it will be beneficial maybe to work on some other coping skills.
Yes.
Work on some, I think we can learn some things that will minimize that anxiety
Yeah.
for this unexpected
right.
change
Yeah, I need
in this
to
phase of life.
know as much as possible. Because, you know,
You're doing- you are
in
doing a good
age,
job. You
You
were
know, your
telling your
tolerance
testimony.
changes. It does. Your
But you
tolerance
keep
changes.
that positive self-talk going.
I try to
and-
most of the time. I mean, once in a while it gets very low, minimal,
Sure.
endurance
And
or whatever, but.
it can with the best of us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for being a volunteer.
You're
and
welcome.
Especially on this subject matter.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking me.
And thank you, kiddos,